Kiwi Motorcycle Tours New Zealand. Today we're talking about short tours in Christchurch, New Zealand. Now, Christchurch is a small town, relatively speaking, in the world context, but it's basically the second largest town in New Zealand with 370,000 people. And today we'd like to talk about a tour from Christchurch all the way over to Akaroa, which is a beautiful British-French settlement in the peninsula of New Zealand. So let's have a close look and see where Christchurch is within New Zealand and where Akaroa is in relation to the tour as a whole. So let me flip over here for a second to one of our Google Maps. Might make it a bit easier for everyone to understand what we're talking about here. So here we are. Just give it a minute to come up on the screen. Might take a few seconds. But you should be able to see now a map of New Zealand. And you can see down here in the middle of the South Island. South Island is relatively large compared to the entire part of New Zealand, making over 50% in landmass. But Christchurch is halfway down on the east coast of New Zealand. And this is where we're looking at the tour for today. As you can see here, there's a beautiful range of mountainous area here, the Southern Alps of New Zealand. Fantastic area for mountain biking. But we'll cover that in future videos. Today we're focusing on Christchurch. As you can see down here, right on the peninsula, there's a little town called Christchurch, 370,000 people in total. And we're going to do a trip which takes around about 1 hour 40 minutes, roughly 1 hour 30 minutes, 1 hour 40 minutes. And it's about 82 kilometres from here, from Christchurch, all the way over to the side of the peninsula here called Akaroa. I would rate it probably a 4 out of 5 with regard to corners, and 3 out of 5 with regard to straights. There's a little bit of a straight in here along Lake Ellesmere, but overall mostly corners and really great roads, undulating terrain. You're going uphill, downhill, long seaside straights, long lake straights. It's really interesting terrain that you're travelling over. The smile factor, I'd have to give it a smile factor of 4 out of 5 for sure, mainly because of the huge amount of twists and turns and switchbacks when you're heading out of Little River, which I'll cover in a minute, going into the Akaroa Harbour, which is over this region here. So let's zoom into the map here and have a really good look at what we're actually looking at. This trip would start here in the centre of Christchurch, or roughly in the centre. You probably want to be in the centre because at the moment Christchurch is being rebuilt after a massive earthquake we had a few years ago, but still a fantastic city to visit. It's going to be a real modern city in the coming years because the Cantabrians are really putting their heart and soul. A lot of foreigners coming over and helping them with the rebuild, so it's making it a very interesting city to be in, even after an earthquake. But anyway, back to our road trip here. Look, we'd leave from the middle of Christchurch. We'd travel all the way up what they call Colombo Street here, leading out of the main city to the base of Cashmere Hill. So the hills are starting here. We travel up the hills, beautiful scenery looking back across the city. You have to be pretty careful to keep your eye on the road, of course, because it's relatively twisty. Not too twisty, but it's relatively twisty. A beginner could manage this without a problem. But then you get further up into the hills here and you come to a place called Sign of the Kiwi. And that's just up here past Victoria Park. Just at the top of the hill here, there's a place called Sign of the Kiwi. Actually, what I'll do is I'll just flip over to a photo because you'll recognise Sign of the Kiwi quite easily. Let me just switch over here quickly. Let's have a look here. Switch over to photos. Okay, this is what we want to have a look at. Here's a little stone place called Sign of the Kiwi. It's right at the top of the summit of the hill. And here, they were rebuilding it because it was a bit damaged in the earthquake. This is an older photo, but here you can get ice creams and you can actually have dinner. But on the other side of the road here, you can actually look over the whole expanse of Christchurch and the Canterbury Plains. So if I switch back once again so we can look at the Canterbury Plains. Let's have a look here. Okay, great. Just a minute. Here we go. Okay, from the Sign of the Kiwi here, if I just zoom in a little bit. Here we go, Sign of the Kiwi just here. This is looking all the way back over the Canterbury Plains, but not just the Canterbury Plains, which is over this direction, all of the Canterbury City, but also over here into the peninsula, which is a massive area, beautiful scenery, and you can look right out to the heads here The Google Maps didn't show it so well with the colours, but you can see right up to the heads here when you're doing a motorcycle tour. It's just gorgeous. Anyway, moving along, you come down the road here through quite twisty terrain, beautiful scenery, into Governor's Bay, and there's a wonderful little pub you can stop at for a Coke or something, or an alcohol-free beer. Down here in Governor's Bay, if I just zoom out a little bit, it might be a bit easier. The little pub's just here. It used to be called the Smuggler's Arms, now it's called the Governor's Bay Tavern. You can sit out at the front here and look out across the harbour. It's just lovely, really nice place to be on a sunny day. Park your bike up here, they're really biker friendly, no problems there at all. And you keep travelling on down the road here, enjoying the lovely scenery. And eventually you get to a place after a long straight road here called Teddington. You have to be really careful not to go straight ahead here, else you end up going off to Chartres Bay, which isn't ideal. So turn right there, and you'll start heading in through Gebbies Pass, and you'll get to a place called the Blue Duck Cafe, which then leads you onto a straight road. But after doing these corners up here, you'll be enjoying a bit of straight road riding, because you can open up your bike here and really let it go. Past Lake Elmsmere, which is quite a pretty lake, and past Lake Forsyth, which is also a really lovely lake. Really nice through here, nice scenery, nice countryside to enjoy, until you get to Little River. Little River has a nice little gallery you can visit, and a good little cafe. So if you need a drink, good place to stop is Little River. And I'd recommend it, because after Little River, it gets really, really twisty. If I just go back for a minute, just to show you a photo that I wanted to show you before, but I missed out on, which is when you're looking into the harbour, you can actually see, let's have a look here, let's go back here a little bit. You can actually see here, into this harbour here, you can see the quality of the road. You can see that it's a high quality road, nice and grippy, really good on your tyres. And it starts to really get twisty down here. But beautiful scenery. You need to keep your eyes on the road, of course, but it's really hard. It's really hard to do that, because the scenery out here is really beautiful. This photo doesn't actually do it justice, because it's a little bit overexposed, but really nice scenery through here. Really good, really worth seeing, especially if you're just in for a short day trip. Let's just go back here for a minute, back to the map. Okay, let's have a look. Here we go. So once you get to Little River, like I say, definitely worth having a drink there and having a bit of a break before you head into the twisty stuff, because then it gets really twisty going up into here. As you can see, there's a number of corners. Definitely advise not to have a beginner taken trip through here. You really want to be of an intermediate level riding skill. It can be dangerous. A lot of people have come off because they've overestimated their skill level, and a little bit excited when they find the corners there and start to open the bike up and don't manage to stay on the road. So yeah, just take that as a word of caution. But I'm guessing if you're visiting from overseas and you're into biking, that's not going to be an issue. So what else did I want to say here? Akaroa, which is where you're heading to, just out of interest, has actually a Maori name. Kaitahu is the way it's pronounced. Whether I pronounce it correctly, I'm not a fluent Maori speaker, but I think it's Kaitahu, which basically means long harbour. And Akaroa, like I was saying earlier, is a French settlement, French-British settlement. Long history there, really interested to have a read up on that. It's nestled in the heart of an ancient volcano, out of interest, so you might want to take a bit of notice of that as you're going over there on this motorcycle. The atmosphere down there is just fantastic, especially on weekends, full of people. But if you really want to have a clean road and not a lot of vehicles on the road, you're best to travel on the weekends. During the week. There's some wonderful restaurants and cafes in Akaroa. Great place to arrive at after riding through all these twisty switchbacks. Really, really enjoyable. Chatting with fellow riders, this will be something you'll definitely be doing when you arrive in Akaroa, because normally it's full of fellow riders, because this is just such a great road to ride. It's just simply breathtaking views and breathtaking ride. Of course, again, you want to keep your eyes on the road, because there's lots of places where you want to be looking at the view, but this is just great. One really good place here is actually the Hilltop Tavern. Now, where is that? That's down here. Hilltop Tavern is is really, really good place to stop off if you're looking for a good view and something good to eat. Here it is over here. Here we go. This is great. Hilltop Tavern, definitely stop off there. It's got great food, great atmosphere, and a great view. You can't miss it. So once you get to Akaroa, what you're going to see when you get there is a beautiful scenery. Let me change back to, if I can find my Google Hangout. Let me change it back to the Google Hangout. Here we are here. Wonderful scenery there in Akaroa. Just show you here on the photos. This is the view down from Hilltop, where you can have a good drink. And great fish and chips in Akaroa. You have to have some fish and chips when you get to Akaroa, because here it is, a seaside village. Lots of fresh fish, really nice atmosphere, nice clean pedestrian zone, really relaxing, lots of art galleries, lots of cafe bars, restaurants. You can go out the wharf, which is, you can't see, but out on the left here of the photo, there's a wharf. You can walk down the wharf. If you were there early enough in the day, you could go on a dolphin, kind of not safari, or I'm not sure, sightseeing, dolphin sightseeing, and that's a real experience to enjoy. You can even do deep sea fishing from here, but I guess on a bike day, you're not going to be doing that. But anyway, that's Akaroa. I recommend it, highly recommend it when you're in Christchurch. And for more information, just go to www.kiwimotorcycletours.com, and I'll put a whole lot of pictures up there and give you more detail with some really good maps. Okay, well, hey, thanks for visiting, thanks for listening, and all the best. Hope to see you at my website. Cheers. Catch you later.